Hi, I'm just here to say, you were traumatized as a child, especially if you believe you're Canadian. You were taken away from your parents, and you were told that if you didn't go with the men into the room with the other kids, that they would arrest your parents and harm would come to your family. And they took you to that room, and they started programming you, and they started taking away your free will. They made you feel small. They said that you didn't have rights, you couldn't vote, you had to obey everything that they said, or they'd give you the strap, or you'd spend time in detention, or your parents would be upset with you. And they used these manipulative things to affect your behavior as a child. When you were about 12 years old, they told you about the political system, and they reinforced these ideas that at that time you couldn't run for office, you couldn't do anything, but they started getting you believing that your vote would make a difference. And by giving up your vote, you're also giving up your own free will and your own decisions, and you're letting somebody else from some political party make those decisions for you. And then in this modern age, we don't need to do that. We don't need to send people on horseback to Ottawa to represent a group of people. We could all be voting online for everything that comes up. But the oligarchs are adhering to the old system because it works for them and it allows them to reap resources from Canada. Because if you look into the British North America Act of 1867, you'd see that when Queen Victoria passed, she didn't want Canada to be ruled by the monarchy anymore. She wanted it to be its own independent country. But that never happened due to the investors like the Hudson's Bay Company, who took over the land when Radisson and de Grozier made a deal with the king to form the Hudson's Bay Company. And then that Hudson's Bay Company turned around and took all the land that they acquired and sold it to the Canadian government for 10 cents an acre. But it really wasn't their land to sell. But we're still adhering to these things and backing these ideas with men with guns that will shoot you if you don't agree with it, or put you in a room and not allow you to have communication with the outside world. So, back to that room where you were with the other kids and you were being brainwashed. They started making you believe that this political system worked, that you were having a democratic right to vote when you did vote. And they gave you a test, and you might have scored well in that test and got like an 87, but you missed the question about what do we have, a democracy or a constitutional monarchy. But you still felt pride, and they reinforced that you did a good job by believing in the political system of Canada. And that's where they got you. What you got to do is you got to let go of your pride and let go of your idea that the Canadian system works. We all have to not vote together and force the king to create a new system, because the new system won't evolve through the system we've got, because it's ruled by oligarchs who enjoy the system that we have and are making money off of it. So the only way to stand up is through passive resistance, like Gandhi said there in India. And they got rid of the monarchy there. So don't vote next time. Don't be an idiot. Don't be a sheep.